Of this book. Did you enjoy it?
Oh, I was having a ball. Yep. There's fact and fiction in all of my work. I'm a storyteller, and I draw a lot of ideas and stuff from things that have happened to me, but a lot of it comes from my imagination and things that have happened to other people, so I kind of mush them all together, and I don't think it's relevant or important what's real about it or wasn't real about it, and whether I'm revealing some true part of myself. But really the message of everything is that this is life, so deal with it, you know, and don't pretend that everyone thinks one way and everyone behaves one way.
If you were to relate yourself to any mythological character, what ones speak to you?
I forget her name. She was a siren, and she was a goddess, and she lured all these men. She lured them into her home, basically, and they all thought they were going to be there for a good time and everything, and she turned them into pigs.
I was interviewing Annie Lennox. It's interesting to me how many times people use you and what's happening with your career and your life as a counterpoint or a reference point. Comes up a lot.
Right.
Annie said, would you like to know what she said?
Yeah.
She said, well, she wanted power, and isn't that what everybody wants? And I really would love to talk to her about that, because, well, we want power, but the quality of power, do we want to dominate people with our power? Do we want to be macho with our power? Do we want to be chauvinistic with our power? You know, and to what end? This is the ultimate question.
I think there are unhealthy quests for power and healthy quests for power. When I say power, I mean empowering yourself. I mean, you know, finding your place in life and having distinction in the world, because I believe that a person without distinction is a person without power. It really means finding your voice. Everybody's on this earth for a reason, and it really is to find out what that reason is, because once you find that out, you have power, whether it's within yourself and in your soul or over thousands of people. It's, you know, it could be small or large. It could be
between your legs.
Right.
So what does that mean to you, so that I can understand what that's all about?
Well, you know, it's basically, it's refuting the idea that, you know, a lot of people say, oh, you know, you just, you know, you have penis envy or whatever, you just wish you had a dick, and my answer is, I do. It's in my brain, because if a dick stands for masculinity and being aggressive and having balls or whatever, then it's all a state of mind anyway.
I mean, whether it be Sandra or Sean or Warren or whoever else gets linked to Madonna.
Well, they were all famous before they met me, though.
I know, but it changes. It changes in terms of the sheer volumes that are written about them.
Yeah, I guess.
It's a pump up the volume kind of association.
Yeah.
That happens. What does that do to you, knowing that?
Doesn't do anything. I mean, it doesn't change me in any way. It just changes them.
Does it affect your trust level at all? About people's motivation about coming into that circle?
No.
No?
I mean, I, for instance, all these people were already, you know, had their own images in the world, and they had their own distinction, and they're artists, talented, creative people. I don't feel like they needed me to do what they want to do. I mean, Sean was already a talented actor before he met me. Warren, a talented producer, actor, director before he met me, and Sandra's a very brilliant comedian. So what did they need me for? I mean, they're still what they are before they met me, only people write about them more. So, I mean, maybe I would feel more mistrustful towards somebody who wasn't, you know, didn't have their own life going for them, you know what I mean? And then I would think that, like, what do they have to gain from it, from their association with me? Flattered that she thinks of me as a feminist role model, and there are a lot of things that I agree with on her politics and stuff, and that, you know, being a sexual being does not cancel out being, you know, a feminist. And I agree with that. On the other hand, I think that sometimes she takes it all too seriously, and I'm amused by some of the things that she says. So, but I'm really glad that she's a fan of mine, and I think she's an important person in culture. Somebody new, because I have to get to learn to trust them all over again, because I don't know what they're going to want from me. But I do like to find a group of people to work with, whether that's a photographer like Stephen Meisel, or Shep that I write with, or even the people that do my hair and makeup. I mean, you get a relationship going with these people, and if it works, it works, and so you just want to keep going. I mean, that's why. That's why people work together all the time. I mean, everybody has their muse or their inspiration or their collaborators, and you get, it's almost like the more you work with somebody, the more you can finish each other's sentences, and it's actually less work because you're kind of like in tandem with each other, and you spend less time questioning people's motivations and stuff, and you just, do the work.
It was interesting talking to Vince Patterson. What constitutes a good choreographer from your point of view?
I think the most important thing is just having a unified vision of what... Stylistically, there's so many... for me, it's what makes anybody good to work with, whether that's a songwriter or a movie director. You kind of have to dig the same things. If he was really into a style of dancing that I didn't like, we probably wouldn't... have gotten along so well, but Vince kind of runs the gamut. He really likes classical ballet, he likes street dancing, he loves a kind of really stylized dancing that you'd see in like West Side Story, for instance. You know what I mean? And down to very free, open, interpretive dancing, and I think a good choreographer lets the person who's, going to be performing dictate the movement instead of like saying, here, do all these steps. It's kind of, it's more organic. It's like, what do you, when we first started working together, we would just turn music on and just dance in the room freestyle and like figure out what it is, this person feels comfortable doing, what looks natural. So it's good to start off that way, and I think that's why we hit it off and worked so well for that particular tour.